Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. Today, we finally have the new Boruto chapter. It has released, and I have to say, it is different than what we were expecting, but I really like it. I really like how this chapter came out. I can definitely see some people having issues with it. I've already seen some people complain about it, but I think overall the reception has still been mostly positive. But yeah, I can understand why people are a little upset, but I like it. I like the way they executed this. So let's go ahead and get right into it. To start off with, as always, cover review. This is one of my favorite covers for Blue Vortex. The green-black combination, this like mint green. Is it mint? I don't know if mint's the right word. I'm going to say mint green, but I don't know if that's the right like explanation. But the mint green with the black for Kawaki, like this is just a cool color scheme for him. I really like the way this looks. I think it complements everything well. Even the karma mark being more of a maroon than it's definitely more maroon than just a normal red. Like I just feel like all of these colors complement each other so well, and then the background being like a light blue superimposed over another Kawaki image. Like I just think this is a very clean cover. It's definitely one of the better covers. I wouldn't say it's the best cover of the time skip or Blue Vortex, but it's definitely one of the better ones. I really like this. I think this is one of the best drawings of Kawaki I've seen. And the chapter itself is also called Kawaki Uzumaki, Uzumaki Kawaki. So overall, very good. I really like this cover. Glad to see that we're getting good covers still after that one little mishap we had I think it was 2 chapters ago. We had a really weird looking cover, at least in my opinion. But regardless, really like it. I think it's the best Kawaki's ever looked, at least in the time skip. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual chapter. So we start off, we cut back to when Boruto and Kawaki were talking on the Hokage's head. And Boruto's basically giving him a heads up. Hey, there's going to be a mission at the sand. We need you to go there as soon as you get your limiters turned off and you help Sarada and them. And once you get there, that's when I'll show up as well. But if I show up, Jura will show up. But you being there will give us a chance we need to deal with Jura. So already we're seeing that Boruto's plan did not go as expected, which kind of explains why he was so on edge. I mean, not only he was on edge while waiting with Koji, because not only was his friends in trouble, Kawaki wasn't showing up. So Kawaki seemed to have been delayed from when Boruto was expecting him to show up, which caused Boruto to jump in early to save Konohamaru from Matsuri. But regardless, Kawaki says that it can't be that easy because Jura is a monster from what I've seen. And Boruto proceeds to throw him a symbol, one of the symbols that he uses to teleport. And Kawaki asks, what is this? And Boruto proceeds to explain that we're not trying to take Jura down at this time, at this encounter. Our goal is to just survive. And the most realistic way for us to survive is for everyone to escape using flying Raijin. But in order for me to teleport long distances, I need to be able to sense chakra in metal pieces, which is what he handed Kawaki. And the reason why he needs Kawaki to be there at this fight is not because they want to take Jura down here. It's because in order for Boruto to concentrate on the teleport, he needs time. And the only person capable of buying him time against Jura is Kawaki. So now we cut back to the present, as we see here, Kawaki basically just says, so you want me to buy you time while Boruto figures out, or tries to get a mark, or tries to get a lock-in on those marks he has to be able to teleport everyone out. And Jura is flying straight in. As you can see, Jura still has an injury here from where Kawaki stabbed him with the staff through his eye from the last chapter. And he fires a tail beast bomb at Kawaki, and Kawaki uses his karma. Keep in mind, Kawaki does have his karma activated. He uses it to absorb the energy from the Biju bomb. Boruto's karma is activated as well, as we can see in one of the panels. It's very small, but you can see it activated. Jura shows up behind Kawaki, tries to attack him with that one clawed finger that we've been seeing him use against Boruto that managed to chip Sasuke's sword. Kawaki uses his abilities to shrink to avoid the strike, and then he summons a bunch of those cubes that Ishiki used against Naruto and Sasuke here, and he uses them to slam into the area that Jura was in. Now Jura manages to avoid them all. He tries to blow some of them up using a Biju bomb, but it seems like it did not work. But regardless, he did not get hit by any of them. And then we cut down to where Kawaki reappears behind Jura with his transformed arm and uses it to land a big strike on him. So far, Kawaki is holding his own pretty well. Jura then proceeds to charge at Kawaki again, and Kawaki blocks the... I don't know what I want to call this, the sword finger? Like, armored finger? I don't know what you want to call Jura's little appendage thing. I'm just going to call it his armored finger, I guess. I feel like that's weird to say, but, you know, I don't know what else to call it. I would say his hand, but he's specifically using that finger only to hit the weapons and such. But regardless, these two engage in a series of blows here. Kawaki misses his staff strike. Jura once again tries to hit him with the finger. But Kawaki blocks it, and this continues on for a little bit, until eventually Kawaki manages to smack Jura's arm, and with this he makes an opening to be able to stab Jura in the abdomen with the staff. And then he proceeds to charge up a blast from his karma and blows a hole into the side of Jura's abdomen. So Kawaki right now is just absolutely cooking. He's keeping up with Jura, and he's actually managing to do some damage here. Like, this is pretty cool. Seeing the karma right here make the sound of charging up, and then just seeing the energy come out from the staff and just blow a hole in his abdomen. And he proceeds to repeat this move several times all over Jura, as you can see here on this bottom left panel. He lands at least 3 strikes from what we've seen drawn here. So he's doing some pretty good damage to Jura. Kawaki's doing pretty well here. He once again transforms his right arm and uses it to strike Jura back, sending him flying. We then cut back to Boruto, who is obviously still hurt from the earlier encounter with Jura. And he says, this is very interesting, he seems to talk to Momoshiki, or his karma here, as he says, it's alright, there's no problem, calm yourself. And as he does this, the karma proceeds to dwindle away. It starts to disappear. So Boruto managed to keep himself controlled. Now I'm wondering, was he kind of like, you know, not hyping himself up, but kind of reassuring himself that he's like, oh, it's alright, there's no problem, calm yourself? Or was he actually somewhat talking to Momoshiki as well, telling Momoshiki like, hey, nothing's going on here, so you don't come out? Now that would make it seem like they're on friendly terms, but we don't know the relationship between Boruto and Momoshiki right now. Obviously, I don't think they're on friendly terms. I think that'd be really weird to have off-screen. But yeah, it's interesting to see if Boruto is, because we don't know the connotation of his voice, you know, like, depending on how he said it in his voice would kind of help here, because if he was saying it kind of stern, like, it's alright, there's no problem here, so calm yourself, that would make it seem like he's talking to someone. But if he was more like, alright, there's no problem, calm yourself, that would make it seem like he's talking to himself. I don't know if there was any difference there. I'm not a voice actor. I heard a difference. I don't know if you guys will be able to. I'm not a voice actor, excuse my horrible voice acting, but I hope you guys kind of understand what I mean there by being able to tell if we had his voice. But regardless, I think it's safe to assume he's probably just talking to himself here, just reassuring himself, so that way Momoshiki doesn't actually appear. And we then cut back to Kawaki, who also has dissolved his karma. So it does beg the question, does Boruto actually dissolve his karma here by himself? Or did it go away because Kawaki also turned his off? Because Kawaki has turned his karma off at this point as he's approaching Jura. And we see that Jura has multiple wounds all over his chest from where Kawaki struck him with the staff. We then cut to Sumari and Amato as they are watching this battle through Kawaki's eyes, because if you remember, they're able to see what Kawaki sees on the computer. And Sumari is surprised at how much Kawaki is actually able to push Jura, and she starts to believe that maybe Kawaki can actually kill him here. And Amato says no, that's not possible. Then Jura proceeds to reach into his cloth, or his cape, and pull out a book. and then just flip it open and start reading. He just starts to read right in front of Kawaki, and he proceeds to compliment him, saying, "Uzumaki Kawaki, you're displaying greater power than before. How did you acquire such power in such a short period of time?" And Kawaki doesn't really say anything, and Jura continues and says, "Actually, it's not just you that has this great growth or exponential growth. Himawari also transformed using someone else's power, it seems. So it seems like Inojin's sacrifice served as a trigger for that power in some way, for Himawari." So right here, it makes it sound like Inojin's dead, but pretty sure we haven't received confirmation on that yet. So I wouldn't take this at any value. For Jura, he might think Inojin's dead, but I'm pretty sure they haven't confirmed that yet. So I don't think there's anything too great to take from here. And Jura proceeds to talk about how even Sarada managed to awaken some power to take down Ryu. And this shocks Sumari, as she is shocked that Sarada managed to awaken some power. And Jura continues to say every one of these situations would be unthinkable under normal circumstances. But I think they all have one common factor that seems to be inciting them. And it's the topic that he's currently researching, something called love. So we're back to the whole love topic, and we know that Jura has been talking about love, as he's mentioned it in previous chapters before. So now he's starting to see what love is able to do, the power that it's able to awaken in some people. And he says that it's curious that such a fatal weakness that humans possess could also be one of their strengths leading to this evolution that they are able to achieve. And he asks Kawaki, "So what do you think of love? I want to hear your opinion." And Kawaki proceeds to put his arm up to Jura, activate his karma, and just say, "You talk a lot," and proceeds to absolutely nuke him with a karma blast right here, as you can see in his bottom left panel. Just absolutely nukes the entire area Jura was in. Typical Kawaki behavior, but you know what? I applaud him. This is a situation where it calls for that. Especially since Jura was already hurt, you might as well take the chance to maybe inflict even more damage, or possibly, by the luckiest of chance, kill him right there. But after the explosion happens, we see some tree roots start to come out of the ground and stab into Jura. And these tree roots are actually healing him, as one of them pops into his eye, and the other ones are popping into the holes that he had in his abdomen and some of the injuries that he had on his legs as well. And Jura proceeds to tell Kawaki, "Don't lose your temper so quickly, I just want to talk to you for a little bit." And as he's saying this, his eye is now healed, so Jura has now healed all of the damage he has taken in this battle against Kawaki and Boruto with these tree roots that appeared. So, yeah. That basically shows what Boruto meant by that they are not going to be able to kill Jura here if he was able to heal all of that damage that quickly. Jura then proceeds to say that he never expected Kawaki to show up to save Boruto, because as far as he knows, there's only one person he's willing to protect: Naruto Uzumaki. Jura says that he went to Konoha a little bit ago to find Naruto, and he was surprised to learn that Naruto had died, apparently. But now that he's looking at Kawaki, he can tell that Naruto Uzumaki is indeed alive. And this shocks Sumari, because remember, she's listening in to the whole conversation. So now Sumari and Amato have both heard that Jura is convinced that Naruto is alive. And Jura proceeds to say, "I'm right. I can tell by looking at you. You're easy to read. You're not good at lying." And he knows that this will likely upset Kawaki, but the main thing Jura wants to do is eat Uzumaki Naruto. And of course, Kawaki instantly gets angry at this fact, and Jura proceeds to say that he's heard that Naruto shares a deep bond with many of the tailed beasts, and maybe that's because of something to do with love, and that he can't help thinking that. So he hopes that by consuming Naruto, that he can learn more about love. And Kawaki proceeds to flip out, transforms his arm, and gets ready to attack Jura once more. Then Boruto teleports next to Kawaki, shocking both him and Jura. Boruto proceeds to apologize to Kawaki for taking so long, but he says that we're good now. He's got a lock in the symbol and is ready for the teleportation. Jura is unamused by this, as he notices that Boruto is about to use his flying Raijin. And he says that he's upset that the three of them must part now, but so be it. He supposed that's enough for today. So Boruto proceeds to grab Kawaki and says, alright, let's go, it's time. Kawaki proceeds to move Boruto's arm off of him and says, give me a second. And he proceeds to tell Jura, listen up, I don't care about love. But he'll give him credit for his instincts and intuition for setting his eyes on Naruto. But don't misunderstand this though. Jura, you will die by my hand, I swear by it. And Jura, looking unamused, just says, I appreciate you being frank with me, Kawaki. Kawaki then turns to Boruto and says, alright, I'm done, let's go. Juro has one last thing to say though as he calls out to Kawaki, and he tells them, I'm glad we got to talk. Let us meet again soon. And with this, we get possibly the funniest panel I've seen in Boruto so far, including pre-time skip and time skip. We get Kawaki flipping off Jura as him and Boruto get ready to teleport away. This panel is amazing. I freaking love it. This fits Kawaki's personality so much, and Boruto just kind of looking at him like, are you serious right now? It's just, I love this panel. Just the fact that he took the time to flip him off, it's amazing. It's such a great addition. But regardless, Boruto and Kawaki end up teleporting away. And we cut back to Konohamaru, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Delta now. And Konohamaru notices that Delta dropped a metal symbol, and they realize that it's Boruto's. Delta then proceeds to say, I was told to drop it here, and I was told to drop it because if I'm holding it, it's harder for Boruto to sense the chakra inside of it. And Suyoshi tells Konohamaru that he might want to take a step back because he's really close to the symbol. And before he has a chance to do anything, we get another... I don't know why, there's a lot of like little comedic bits in this chapter, and I really appreciate it. You know, it's fun to see these for a manga that's been so serious, to have these little comedic moments. So I'm glad we're starting to get a little bit more of these, like with Kawaki flipping off Jura, and now this with Kawaki giving Konohamaru the code treatment by stomping on his face as they teleport in. Granted, I don't think Kawaki meant to do this on purpose. This is pretty much Kawaki, or not Kawaki, Konohamaru's fault for standing so close to the symbol. And I love that Kawaki, this little panel right here, we see Kawaki asking like, what are you doing, Konohamaru? And we see Boruto's face as Boruto is cringing back here as he realized what just happened. He's like, oh shit. I love the little addition of Boruto in the background of that panel, just kind of like cringing a little bit at what just happened. He's just like, ooh, you know, like, it's so good. I love these little two back-to-back comedic bits that they did here. And Konohamaru proceeds to yell at Kawaki, saying that that's his line, damn it. And Boruto apologized to Konohamaru for the teleport and getting stepped on. And he asked him if he still has the thorn bulb. And Konohamaru says, this thing, right? Yeah, I do. And he says, good, then we're going straight to Konoha. We cut to Ada and Koji talking to each other again. And Ada proceeds to say, I wasn't sure how this entire thing was going to turn out, but it seems like we're in a good spot right now, right? We can breathe. And Koji proceeds to say this shouldn't be praised. Boruto made a dangerous wager here that could have destroyed even the good futures that we still have. The fact that Boruto survived is a good thing, but thanks to what he did, the future has greatly shifted again. And Ada proceeds to ask, well, what's the big deal about that? Isn't that how life usually works? The future is changing constantly? And Koji proceeds to tell her, Ada, this isn't someone else's problem. This is your problem. Mamushi's going on the move now, and his target is you. And this surprises Ada, and she asks, you're joking, right? That's gross. And then we then cut to Mamushi, and I don't know if Koji was lying, or if maybe this is just before he starts heading out. But Mamushi's just sitting there. He's not on the move. He's just sitting there. Like, I don't think Koji is being literal about it, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem like Mamushi's on his way to do anything. So, if anything, I think Koji might have been fibbing a little. But in reality, I think what Koji meant was, like, Mamushi will be making the next move. because maybe Momushi's plan is going to be to try to stop them from using the Thorn Bulb to save Moegi by stopping them once they get to Konoha. So I guess we'll see in the next chapter if that's what happens, if Momushi starts to invade Konoha in order to save Matsuri. We then see Hidari and Jura just sitting next to each other. Hidari has a book open. We see Jura, and he looks to be kind of like smiling. Like Jura just looks very pleased with himself. And Hidari asks him, "What's up with your facial expression? Are you feeling sick or something?" And Jura says, "Just the opposite, Hidari. Listen to this. Kawaki actually gave me a compliment." Hidari just looks neutral at this. He flips through the book that he's reading, and he proceeds to tell Jura, "There's actually a modern phrase I just learned that might be appropriate to use right now." And Jura, it seems excited at this. He says, "Oh, what is it?" And Hidari replies with, "Totally ick." And Jura is just... I don't know what is with like the writing in this chapter, but it's definitely leaning more towards like comedic, because like these last two panels here, like dude, the deadpan look Jura gives Hidari after he said "totally ick," and the fact that Hidari feels like he got the ick from Jura from him being all happy about Kawaki giving him a compliment. I don't know what it is, man. This, the Konohamaru moment, and then Kawaki flipping off Jura, like, the ending of this chapter just got very, like, I don't know if I want to say lighthearted, but it definitely took a different turn than what most of the time skip has been like. But no, overall, I'm very happy with this chapter. I think it was really good. I know a lot of the stuff people were hoping for, like Momoshiki or Boroshiki appearing, didn't happen. We got a rather quick ending to the whole Kawaki showing up here, because it only ended up being a chapter. So I know some people are going to probably be upset about that, but you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine with it. The more that they kind of hold off on Momoshiki appearing, the more tension is going to be building up, because now it's like every single time it's like, oh god, is Momoshiki gonna show up? Is Momoshiki gonna show up? You know, like there's always that tension. Until they do it for the first time, it's just gonna keep adding on to us. Like it just keeps adding to the suspense. So I'm kind of okay with them not opening that jar here with all the stuff we had going on. But no, overall, really good chapter. It's cool to see that Kawaki has definitely powered up. He was holding his own against Jura very well. Granted, Jura healed all the damage that he took, but Kawaki is showing that he's able to keep up. He's probably near Boruto's level now. I don't know if he's surpassed Boruto yet, but he's definitely near his level. I would have to say I think Kawaki actually held up against Jura better than Boruto did. Boruto was really struggling to land any kind of damage, but you kind of have to wonder if Boruto was even going for damage, or if Boruto was kind of trying to stall as much as he could, since he knew he couldn't kill Jura here. But Kawaki, granted, Boruto told him, we can't kill Jura here, but you know how Kawaki is. He's still going to try to kill him. So he might have been a little bit more offensive rather than trying to waste time when Boruto might have been stalling a little bit. Granted, Boruto did try to go for the kill with the Uzuhiko. But regardless, really good chapter, like I said. I really liked it. I kind of hope they keep some of the more comedic bits in here, because it's really nice to see, and it kind of, I don't know, it gives more personality to the manga and the story, kind of letting the characters breathe a little bit and not having everyone be so serious, because a lot of the time skip has just been purely serious. So I'd be happy we get a little bit more moments like this throughout. I'm not saying there needs to be a billion more of them, but every once in a while, sprinkling them like this, I think would be very nice to see. Best panel of the chapter is definitely the Kawaki Boruto panel with Kawaki flipping off Jura. This is definitely the best panel from this chapter. I would not be surprised if that becomes a meme within the Boruto community. But yeah, now that we've done all this, it seems to be... I think it's safe to say that we're getting the ending to this sand mission arc, probably next chapter. You can kind of consider this the ending if you want. So overall, really good arc. I enjoyed it. There was definitely moments in this arc where it kind of dragged a little, mainly the Konohamaru and Matsuri debacle. That kind of dragged for a little bit, mainly because that whole thing was kind of happening while Ryu and Sarada and Mitsuki were in the middle of their fight, so that kind of ended up having to drag. But overall, still very good. I still enjoyed the arc a lot. I think it gave us some really good moments. Especially, I think the highlight moment would probably be Sarada awakening her Mangekyo. But yeah, overall, let me know down below what you guys thought of the chapter, what you guys thought of the arc as a whole. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the comedy in this chapter, or if you thought it was really out of left field and kind of inappropriate for this. In terms of what I think could happen next chapter, I think we're gonna get what Koji said in terms of Mamushi making his move. So I would not be surprised if next chapter is everyone heading back to, or everyone appearing back in the Leaf Village, and as they're heading to the tree that has Moegi, Mamushi ends up popping out of it or teleporting into the Leaf Village to prepare his counterattack to get Matsuri's Thornbulb. That's gonna be what I assume is gonna happen next. I don't know if they care enough to do that in terms of the tree clones, if they care about each other enough to try to do that. But if Mamushi is truly on the move now and his target's Ada, it would kind of make sense for him to also get Matsuri's Thornbulb at the same time. Or maybe he's just going to focus on Ada, I don't know. But it does seem like regardless whether or not he actually shows up in the village, I think the next arc will have Ada and Mamushi meeting up, or at least that will be one of the focuses of the next arc is Mamushi. But yeah, I think that'll do it for today's video, so I will see you all next time when Boruto drops a new chapter. So as always, God bless, happy reading, and I will see you all next time.